Hey everyone, tonight we're working on LeetCode challenge number 1773 called Count Items Matching a Rule. In this challenge we're given an array of items, and let's look down here at this example to see what the array looks like. Each one of these items is itself an array with three elements in it which sort of describe properties of the item, and we're told these elements are referred to as the type, the color, and the name. So that's describing each one of these items within the item array. Then we're also going to be given two strings, a rule key and a rule value. And what we're going to need to do is check if any of these conditions right here are true. If the rule key is equal to type, then we want to look for each item at the first index right here and see if this value matches what we are given as the rule value, and so on and so forth. If the rule key is color, then we want to check this index in the array and see if this matches the rule value right here. And same process for if the rule key is name, and what we need to return is simply the number of items that match the given rule. So in this example, if the rule key is color and the rule value is silver, what we'll want to do is iterate through the items array and be checking these indices right here to see if any of them are silver, and in this case only one of them is, so the output would be 1. So this is an example of one of these LeetCode challenges where I think the description they give can be a bit confusing at times, but once you understand what they're asking for, it's actually not a terribly difficult example to build out the code. So we start by just setting up a count variable, let count equal 0, and then they basically give you the conditions to check for right here. So this can be done in sort of one large if statement. So the first thing we're checking for is if rule key equals type and rule value equals, and what we're looking for is items at the index of 0. And before I continue, I forgot to put this inside a for loop so that we check each item in the items array. So I'm going to say for let item of items, and then we can open this up and move this in here. Okay. For let item of items, if rule key equals type and rule value equals item at the index of 0. So now we're checking the first element in each one of the item arrays. So that's our first condition that we need to check. Now we can check for the second condition. So we're going to say or rule key equals color and rule value equals, this will be item at the index of 1, or the final condition we need to check if rule key equals name and rule value equals item at the index of 2. So that should be all the conditions that we need to check, and then if it matches one of those conditions, we're going to increment our count variable. And at the end of that for loop, we should be able to simply return count if I've typed that all correctly. So let's see if this is working. Looks good so far. Yeah, and it looks like that's an acceptable solution. So hopefully that makes sense. I think this problem falls into one of those categories where, again, sometimes when you read through it, it takes a minute to really think through exactly what they're asking for. But if you take that time and a few minutes to really think through what the problem is asking you, this is really just a simple for loop and then one large if statement that's checking all these conditions. Hope this video was helpful.